Okay, good. Yeah, we're live. So I wanted to come on here quickly. I posted yesterday on my stories a picture of me watching telly in the middle of the afternoon. I was watching the newsroom actually, which if you haven't seen it, it's friggin' marvellous. Anyway, I got a ton of DMs from people, mostly around the fact that they were saying like, oh, I wish I could let myself do that. I just feel far too guilty to ever take a break like that. And I got a few messages around people talking about numbing, and that's the conversation that I really wanted to dig in a little bit deeper because it was just too complex to do in the DMs. So when I'm talking about numbing, what I mean by that is our go-to often negative behaviours, it's not always, but the go-to stuff that we do when we want to avoid a feeling that we're feeling, a situation that's emerging. We want to distract ourselves from that and hide from it. We're not able to just be with ourselves and feel that feeling and process it. So TV definitely is a big thing that people go to, or it could be food or alcohol. I had this brilliant, it's a super old interview, that podcast that I heard with Elizabeth Gilbert, and she was saying that a friend of hers says, first of all, it's a martini, but if it's not a martini, it's a man. If it's not a man, it's my MasterCard. If it's not a MasterCard, it's a muffin. And I thought that was such a beautiful description of the different ways in which we can numb ourselves. So here's what I think is really important. If you are feeling like you're wanting to numb yourself in some way, the first super important thing is to really just get aware that that is what you're wanting to do, that you've got that discomfort inside of you, there's that feeling that you don't want to feel, and for whatever reason you don't feel safe enough, you don't feel able to process that in the moment. And by having that awareness, that might be enough for you to go, okay, sitting in front of the telly probably isn't going to help me with this. Instead, I'm going to get out for a walk so I can process it, or I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to journal, or call my friend that's great at holding space for me. You know, whatever it might be, you might have the capacity to want to get some help with dealing with that in a really productive way. But equally, it might be that you just physically don't have the capacity for that in this moment. In which case, I would love for you to just say, fuck it, I'm going to watch the TV. Like, just go for it and enjoy it. Now, bear in mind, if your way to numb yourself is, shooting up heroin or something really destructive, of course, I'm not saying go for it. But if it is something that is fairly benign, something that is just stopping you being at your most productive in that moment, but it's not really hurting anyone, then I really do say go for it. But go for it in a way that you can actually enjoy it. You know, if you're there watching your Netflix like I was doing yesterday, but feeling guilty that you're doing it, feeling like, oh, I've got this feeling and I'm hiding it and I shouldn't be, and you're just beating yourself up, then the way that works, when you're in resistance to that and you're refusing to acknowledge it, chances are you are going to stay in that behaviour, you're going to stay watching TV way longer. I know that when I do that, it means that the rest of the day is written off. I stay up way too late, I go to bed too late, and I'm so angry at myself because I wasn't having a good time anyway. Whereas if I can acknowledge what's happening and just really go, okay, I'm numbing, this isn't the best thing, but sod it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to enjoy it. First of all, I have a really good time watching the telly, so it's relaxing and it's fun and it fills me up in some way. But the other thing that happens is that I get my TV fix so much quicker after an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3. I'm done with it and I'm ready to get back to work, get back to being productive, or I'm able to then just start to process that emotion that I was hiding from. When you're in resistance to something, it grips onto you, you're so attached to it. Whereas when you can just let it go, accept what you're doing and be present to it, it actually just sort of passes through you so much quicker. The healing can happen so much quicker. I think we're so programmed to think that we've got to beat ourselves up. You know, if I'm mean enough to myself, that I'm going to get up from the TV and stop watching it. But all of the research shows that that just isn't true. It is self-compassion, it is acceptance, it is forgiveness that allows us that kindness to ourselves, and we're going to start making different decisions. So self-compassion is key. Get aware, get present, and then be kind to yourself. And I promise you, life gets a whole lot more fun, and you will get back to doing the work so much quicker.